You can enjoy Red Dead Redemption 2 the way Rockstar intended, or if you prefer your West to be a little more wild, you can be an outlaw about things and use cheat codes. Let's break down 10 handy cheats that completely change the way you play. In Red Dead Redemption 2, your horse is very important. You'll need to travel via horseback to do just about everything, but it can be a huge pain to hike back to your horse if you wander too far away from it, or vice versa. You can make things easier for yourself by whistling for your horse to summon it, but as you've probably noticed, your ability to summon animals has a very short range. If your horse is too far away, you're still going to have to do quite a bit of traveling on foot to reach them. The Better Than My Dog cheat fixes that by allowing you to call your horse from any distance. Is it realistic? Absolutely not. But Red Dead Redemption 2 is already a huge game, and if you're constantly hopping on and off your horse while exploring, this cheat will save you quite a bit of time. Like any outlaw worth his salt, Arthur Morgan is no stranger to the demon liquor. If it's got alcohol, Arthur will drink it. Sometimes that leads to complications. Red Dead Redemption 2 has an entire mission dedicated to the highs and lows that accompany a booze-filled night on the town. If you get tipsy outside of that mission, it can make the game much more interesting, if slightly less playable. When Arthur is drunk, he'll stumble around, losing what little graciousness he has. In-game text prompts become garbled, reflecting Arthur's muddled state of mind. The camera starts wobbling, making him hard to control, and the graphics become blurry. Have too much to drink and Arthur will pass out entirely. Red Dead Redemption 2 is already hard to control. Add alcohol to the mix and it becomes nearly impossible. As hard as it makes the game to play, it makes pretty much everything a whole lot funnier. If you want to make sure that Arthur is drunk all of the time, you don't need to spend a fortune at the saloon. Just use the A Fool on Command cheat code and watch the hilarity commence as you get your Wild West swerve on. But don't worry, you can always toggle the cheat off when you want to get serious, because a tipsy gunslinger isn't usually a very effective one. Oh, and the best part about this cheat? No hangovers. Go wild. Arthur Morgan is a very stylish fellow, or at least he can be. Red Dead Redemption 2's shops peddle more than just firearms and cans of baked beans. Some also sell clothing, which you can use to give Arthur some extra flair. Towns aren't the only place you can find new outfits either. By hunting beasts and offloading their skins on traders, Arthur can earn special legendary outfits too. Red Dead Redemption 2's clothing system is more than just cosmetic. If you're heading to a region with an extreme climate, you'd better make sure that Arthur is dressed appropriately, otherwise his health is going to suffer. As a result, you're going to want to make sure that you've got an outfit ready for every occasion. Filling Mr. Morgan's wardrobe can take quite a bit of time, but fortunately, Rockstar has given you a shortcut. Enter Vanity, all is vanity, in Red Dead Redemption 2's cheat screen to unlock all of Arthur's clothing options at once. No more shopping, no more hunting. It'll just be Arthur and whatever cool, practical, or ridiculous getup you decide to put him in. If you prefer to play Red Dead Redemption 2 more like a Western-themed Animal Crossing, or if you just want to see what an outfit looks like before you go track it down, this cheat code is the way to go. If you want to add a warhorse to your stable, you've got a couple of options. The easiest way was to buy Red Dead Redemption 2 early and get the horse as a pre-order. Since it's a little bit late for that, let's break down the other methods you can use to find these beasts. To get a warhorse legitimately, you have to buy one using in-game cash, and they tend to be pretty expensive. Expect to pay anywhere between $100 and $400 to get one. If you prefer to find your stallions and mares in the wild, you can find a few types of Hungarian half-bred wandering around the map in the area of northern Blackwater, although they can be pretty hard to come by. Or finally, you can just cheat and get one for free, using the code "You Are a Beast Built for War." No muss, no fuss, and no strain on your wallet. There's just one catch. If you're going to get a warhorse this way, you're gonna need to be patient. The cheat only unlocks once you've finished Red Dead Redemption 2's main campaign and epilogue. That'll take the average player around 60 hours, so if you've waited that long, enjoy your new ride. You've earned it. Rockstar's open-world games are at their best when the chaos meter is cranked up to 11. If you want to take on the whole West at once, then use the cheat code "You Want Punishment" to bump up your wanted level. Then sit back and watch the bullets fly. When you're caught breaking the law in Red Dead Redemption 2, the game doesn't let you off scot-free. For minor offenses, you'll be assigned a low bounty and might find yourself up against deputies and angry mobs when you wander into town. For the worst offenses, you'll get tracked down by bounty hunters, be forced to outrun bloodhounds, and be forced to face off against federal marshals. It's wild. On the other hand, if you find yourself running from the sheriff a little too often, you can lower your wanted level using the "You Want Freedom" cheat codes. But where's the fun in that? We've got 2 words for you: homing tomahawks. Okay, the death is silence cheat code actually does a little more than give you a heat-seeking hatchet. It'll actually give Arthur a full arsenal of stealth-based weapons, including a machete, an entire assortment of different knives, and some regular old tomahawks too. If you're getting tired of heading into firefights guns blazing, Death is Silence helps make stealth a much more viable option. It won't turn Red Dead Redemption 2 into Metal Gear Solid, but the change of pace is still welcome. If you don't want to use cheats, you can create a homing tomahawk by buying a regular tomahawk from a fence, and then attaching an owl feather. You'll also need the homing tomahawk schematics, which you can find near Moonstone Pond. Look for the house that's been flattened by a tree. If you can't find it, or if you just don't feel like trying, hit the cheat code and go put those hatchets to work. Red Dead Redemption 2 goes out of its way to make you love your horse. If you don't clean your horse regularly, it'll lose health. If you don't pet it enough, you'll never build the bond it takes to execute unique moves. When your horse gets scared, it's up to you to give your trusty steed a comforting pat on the nose. Like real pets, Red Dead Redemption 2's horses can be very rewarding. Also, like real pets, they can be a ton of work. Too much work, maybe. That's where My Kingdom is a Horse comes in. This cheat code will increase the bond that you have with every single horse that you own, whether you're currently riding it or not. That means if you're feeling lonely, you can quickly give Arthur Morgan an entire stable full of new best friends. It also means that once you collect a team of horses that will handle every situation, you don't need to spend extra time riding them to level them up. They'll all love you instantly. Aside from the Western setting, Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't have a lot in common with Red Dead Revolver, the game that launched the franchise. The Redemption games are sprawling open-world experiences. Revolver is a linear third-person shooter. The games do have one thing in common: the dead eye mechanic. The feature causes time to slow to a crawl during gunplay, giving the player ample time to target specific body parts and multiple enemies before unleashing a hail of bullets. When the game begins, your dead eye abilities are limited. You can still go into slow motion, but you can't get much more fancy about it. Where's the fun in that? Red Dead Redemption 2 can occasionally feel like it's moving sort of slow, and many players don't want to wait to be a top-tier gunslinger. That's who the cheat code I Seek and I Find is for. Input the code to boost your Deadeye abilities to their maximum level immediately. It'll make for a bunch of unfair fights, but Arthur Morgan is an outlaw. If you want to be the fastest gun in the West, breaking the rules is your quickest way to do it. Red Dead Redemption 2 has a lot going for it, but it's hardly a perfect game. For one thing, the game's survival elements can occasionally be downright tedious, requiring the player to keep track of multiple meters, monitoring their character's health, stamina, and deadeye ability. Sometimes these resources can get pretty hard to manage, taking away from the more exciting parts of the game. You can see how Rockstar came up with all of this. Real-life cowboys needed to eat and drink, so Arthur does too, but it's tedious, and many players would rather not deal with it. Thanks to Rockstar, you don't need to. The cheat code You Seek More Than the World offers will refill and fortify all your bars, making them extra strong. The only catch is that you can't unlock this cheat until Chapter 6, near the end of the campaign. Also, since you can't save when cheats are on, it's not a code that will help you get through the main story. But if you're exploring Red Dead Redemption 2's post-game content and you don't want to worry too much about survival, then use this cheat code. It'll take your mind off of staying alive. With all the cattle rustlers, bounty hunters, and ne'er-do-wells in the world, life on the range can be rough, so why not bring a little laughter into your Red Dead experience? By entering the code Would You Be Happier as a Clown, you can spawn your very own circus wagon, guaranteed to bring smiles to the faces of men, women, and children all across the frontier. Okay, maybe that's overselling it. The circus wagon isn't much more than a carriage with a cage built in, and it's not that useful in the game's main campaign. If you're looking for a ride that's a little less flashy, the code Keep Your Dreams Simple will spawn a simple one-horse wagon, while a different code, The Best of the Old Ways, will summon a stagecoach. We recommend the circus wagon though. A vehicle like that is simply how the West was fun. Red Dead Redemption 2's honor system goes a little something like this. Do good deeds and your honor goes up. Act like a villain and your honor goes down. But maybe honorable players want to see what life is like on the other side of the law, and don't have the stomach to commit such dastardly deeds. Maybe villains want to murder and steal their way across the Wild West, but can't handle the shame that comes along with it. If either of those sound like you, these are the cheats you're looking for. Virtue Unearned is not a virtue, raises your honor, and can only be unlocked during Chapter 4. You revel in your disgrace, I see, however, sets your honor as low as it'll go, and can be used at any time. And if you get tired of that, then we have some more good news. Balance. All is balance resets your honor to a neutral position. Make some poor decisions and want a second chance? Just balance out the scales and try again. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a Western simulator, meaning you'll need to pay attention to your diet, your horses, and your ammo in addition to gunning down your foes. But sometimes you don't want to worry, you just want to shoot stuff. That's when abundance as the dullest desire comes in handy. Ammunition isn't hard to come by in Red Dead, but some of the game's lengthier combat challenges throw dozens of enemies at you. During these encounters, you might find your favorite shotgun, rifle, or pistol running low on bullets. When that happens to you, enter the cheat code, which you earn after buying the new Hanover Gazette number 27, and let her rip. Face it, while Red Dead Redemption 2 is an amazing game, it can also be remarkably tedious. You've got guns to maintain, horses to care for, a camp to upgrade, outfits to buy, quests to complete, bounties to hunt, animals to track and skin, fossils to find, and much, much more. That's a big problem when it comes to your stat bars, which grow slowly as the game progresses. In order to extend your bars, you need to use their associated abilities. If you want Arthur to be able to run a little farther, you need to run all of the time. If you want him to just have a sliver of more health, you'll have to absorb countless bullets. To increase your Deadeye meter, you have to land headshots, hunt animals, and perform other chores. The grind is real. Unless you enter Seek or the Bounty of Displace in the cheat menu, that is, which increases all of your bars instantly. Like other cheats, you can't save your progress when you have it activated, so those upgrades are only temporary. But if you're sick of Arthur only being able to sprint for a few feet before he gets winded, it's a godsend. While the Deadeye skill is incredibly useful in every gunfight you get mixed up in, it's not an unlimited power. While it's fun to feel like the most talented crack shot in the Old West, games still need limitations to force players to figure out how to succeed. This is no different. Even still, if you get sick of seeing your gunfighting skills slip away, you might want to use the Be Greedy Only for Foresight cheat code, which gives you an infinite Deadeye supply, because the only thing cooler than filling your enemies with lead is getting to do it in slow motion.